stop and start, so I'm going to cut them
you
all
have to watch a whole bunch of them.
No, I can.
Oh, you can
stick,
put them
you can stick them together on YouTube, which is incredibly slow and boring and like hard to do, but or you can download the MP4. Anyway, whoa, we started, and here we're talking about editing. All right, so the moment of truth, we have to take the masking fluid off.
This is the most exciting part.
This is the exciting part. What do we really have? Okay, so is it dry? It should be dry before you start rubbing at it, but it's almost dry. So this is a solid chunk of latex rubber, and so like attracts like. This latex rubber is what the masking fluid is. So I just rub that against there, and it pulls it off. So you can also use a regular eraser; it'll kind of rub it off. Yeah, it's not done. See, now there's the snow. Now that needs to be softened, right? It looks too abrupt, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so when we thought, oh my gosh, that's so dark, it's not dark. Look, it looks white now. Now the masking fluid does lighten up the color a little bit. Okay, it does pull a little bit off with it. So that's why I wasn't worried about bright yellow or teal. It looks quite gentle.
White. Yeah, I see.
Yeah, because we've got all this other color on here, plus it does lighten, pull some of it off. So now our snow's back, but we have to soften what we have because it looks a little harsh and stiff, doesn't it? So I'm going to pull all this off. If you feel that you're done. If you don't feel like you're done, then but I'm going to show you what you can do to make it look right, and then you could keep working on it at home. And then if you want to come next Saturday for Open Studio here between 11 and 3,
of this thick paper.
it's 300 pounds. I do like it. Because I like that I don't have to stretch it, but it's expensive. But I like that it never buckles.
How much does it cost a sheet?
$20.
$20 for one sheet?
Yeah.
The sheet's this size or is it a full size?
No, it's a full size, so this is the $5 worth here.
And you pretty well need a metal ruler to whip it, eh? Twice as much as arches, right?
Well, it's arches as well. It's the 300 pound, but it's twice as much as the 140 pound.
The normal, yeah.
Because it's twice the weight.
Yeah. Yeah. So I had to rub all this off. Now I have to go back and do some painting on this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to rub all of it off. But I want a more delicate feel. Like I almost wish I had put it on stronger.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The masking fluid. Yeah, I wish it had been on even stronger. But it does give me some nice sparkle now, doesn't it? It really stands off against the background.
Yeah.
A bit too much. So now I have to go back, and there's a couple of things I want to do. I want to do some shading on the snow clumps. So I'm going to look at this one, even though this is a different coloring. We can see that if I look carefully inside here, you can see that it's lighter and then more violet and, a little darker, a little lighter, darker underneath. Mm-hmm. So you could choose to remask if you wanted, but I don't want to do that. It's too much work. So, and you can decide, do you want to do a more pinkish hue or more violet hue on the snow, or do you want to stay with the more teal coloring?
Okay.
What might be nice, I guess, because we have a bit of the violet there. Might be nice to do a bit of the violet on the snow.
On the pictures, some of the pink seems to get picked up.
Yeah,
and
just like it does on the
reflecting
ground.
on the ground too, right? So you might do some soft violet and pink shadows. So the violet shouldn't be straight violet because that's going to look too bright. So add a little bit of indigo blue to just soften the violet a bit.
To make it shadowy.
Make it shadowy color. And I think it'd be a lot of work to pre-wet it. So So I want to get sort of underneath here. I want to make it darker. So we want to go a little at a time. And so what I would do is put a little bit on and then blend it with some clean water.
Mhm.
Because like technically it'd be good to wet it first and then add it in, but that would be just so slow. We've already spent so much time.
Honestly,
see
I've
what
done
you
that
can do?
before, where you wet it and put it back in, and you get these weird borders around it, and it doesn't look very nice.
So this would be better
So
anyway.
I think this would be better,
you
yeah.
think? Okay.
This is gonna take quite a while anyway.
Yeah, so I think that, you know, you're going to want to just keep working on it. But I want to show you what we're doing and have the video here so that you can see what to do. So soft, I think the violet looks kind of nice. We can do a little bit of pink cast as well. So if you get it before it dries, right? I should probably add a little bit more water to that. It's a little bit too strong. So we could do pinky hue to the highlights. So put some on before it dries, blend it. Okay. So I'm just dipping in water. It's off to the side. I should get that in the view. And let's see. I want to get a sense of light and dark. So maybe I'll put a little bit of pink, blend it, and then get some violet. Put some shadow as it goes inside the tree. Make it look like lumpy snow. Might want a soft bit of bluish cast so it feels like snow. We could get some more of your soft teal color in there so that it disappears inside the tree, right? And doesn't feel so stiff. So if you can see, if you can imagine what that would develop like as I continue to work on that. You see how now it feels like it's going back inside there, right? And it's got some subtlety and beauty, and it takes time. So I think you need to just keep working on this. So maybe I'll do a little bit more painting on this. You can try a little bit of this so you feel comfortable with it. So, because doing it is what makes you remember it. So go and try a little bit of it so that it stays in you, right? Because if you just see it and hear it, that's only 20% of your learning. 80% is doing. So we'll do a little bit of this, and then we'll have the video.
How do we find this?
I'd like to get your, yeah, it's on my YouTube channel, but if I can get your email addresses, and I'm going to cut all these pieces together because these have all been recorded separately, and then I can send you the link so you can watch it and keep working on it. Oh, and we need to add some snow. Oh, let's look at the snow, guys. The bottom here, we want some pinkish hue to the snow.
So you don't want to wet the snow either? Would that be?
So
that, don't you?
it probably would be good, but you can see what I can also do. Put some on, get some water, blend it away. I also want the background to kind of maybe disappear a bit. So maybe I'll put a little bit of the teal to get the background to sit back, right, in behind here.
That's sort of what's going on there.
And then in here, I'm going to add a little bit of that pink glow, a little bit of violet in that shadow there. So yeah, you could pre-wet it, but it works too to just say, look, I want a pink glow here. Put some on, clean water right away before it dries, and blend it away. If you're nervous, can you do it that quickly? Then pre-wet it, right? And I kind of like sometimes not pre-wetting it so I can get some patterns in the snow.
Yes,
right?
that's nice.
It's nice, right? For sure what you're going to want is a little bit of shadowing under the trees, right? So that they sit into the snow there.
You've been working on this for a long time.
Yeah, we're
It's
not.
a
We're
pretty
not
big
done.
painting.
Yeah. So you see, it's a really different experience from because you guys were taking the watercolor class. You know,
Yeah, we had a
when
time
you,
limit.
and we only had a couple of hours to work.
Mhm.
That when you're doing an actual painting, it takes time,
Does, doesn't it?
right? And takes a little. And it's nice to see. Wow, if I wanted to do a painting, what what's involved in planning out and doing a painting? That depends on the type, of course, but.
Mhm. It's already starting to pop out a bit more.
You see? A little bit of foreground.
Very
I
nice.
think I want to make this fade a little more back here. I'm going to put a little bit of violet. That to sit back. There. So I got to keep working on these branches to get it to feel realistic and not stiff.
You have to dry this with a hairdryer before
If it's damp, you do need to dry it off. Wait for the masking fluid to cool off. One of the things to watch, don't superheat your masking fluid really close. You can bake it onto the page. Don't make it hot. Okay, so I try to stay up a bit from it. Also, don't paint it in a blaring hot sun and bake it onto the page. It doesn't come off again. And here's a masking fluid right here. There you go, look at that. So subtle colors, but nice. I'd like to see, what does that look like if I take the tape off? Look at that. Isn't that nice? Let's see the subtle color here. Let's zoom in on it a bit. Zoom in. And this way. Let's see some nice subtle colors and shadows in here. And that tape does such a nice job, doesn't it? Okay, so I'm gonna zoom back out and over. It does. You see, so now you have to keep painting. It's not done yet. So remember, you want to get those branches that are coming forward to look like they're going back inside the tree. So we need some shade and shadow on it, right? And you want to get the snow to look like it's lumpy, right? So remember that what side do you have the light coming from in your painting? Even though this is a very soft light, there's certainly a direction of light, right? So if you've got it coming from the right, you want to be consistent with your painting.
Or you should use that ruler pen more than.
Yeah, you notice it when you take off the color, don't you? Now don't go crazy with too much shading or it won't look like white snow anymore, right? But we just want where it goes inside the tree, we want to get some shadow so it lays back in. Yeah, I wish I had been more fine with my masking too. thing to keep in mind is the roundness of the tree. So that, for me, my light's coming from the left. So I'm thinking about the roundness of the snow, that the left side of the snow pile is darker. But also, I have the left side of the tree is lighter and the right side of the tree is darker. So the snow piles that I have on my boughs on the right side, I'm making a little bit darker. So I'm adding just a soft teal on the shade side of my tree on all of the white snow. So it kind of looks similar to when the masking fluid's on it. And this makes my tree feel like a cylinder, right? Basically it's a cone, isn't it? So it's going to have some shadow on it to look round, not just the texture of the boughs, but the roundness of the tree, that it has to have a shade side. So there's a couple of different things going on. There's the shadow of the boughs as they go deep inside the tree. And then there's the roundness of the tree, that the right side is darker than the left side. And if you find you're tired, you know what? Take a break, do some more another day. So a little bit of pink or highlight, soften it. And then some soft violet, some shadowing. Sit inside tree, some depth. Some of them more shadowy than others. Let's see. Maybe need a bit more green. That's back a bit inside.
by yourself.
Okay. Of course. So, let's see how I can get this branch to sit more inside by putting a bit of soft, so we've got Daxine Violet, and what do you need? I put it on the table, in the middle of the table. I don't know who's got it right now. Can you find it? Yes. It takes a bit of patience. Just build up the tones so they look kind of shadowy. So it starts to feel a little more realistic now. All right. There we go. So it's not done yet, but it's starting to look a little more natural in here. So this one needs to be reduced back a bit. And I want this tree to stand out as being the brightest. So I need to make that one in behind a little bit softer so that this main tree really stands out. I'm going to make this one with some snow and a bunch of teal, I think, to make this tree a little softer too. So, takes a bit of work. Anyway, good luck with that. I'm going to stop the broadcast. Thanks for watching.